Hey, this is Brian from 10 Years. You're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
Hi, Brian. It's Kat. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And I've been doing a bit of research. You're actually the only founding member left in 10 years at the moment.
Well, it's me and Matt Watland. He actually came back.
Oh,
so, yeah, it's the two of us now, but we both just recently came back.
Right. And you've actually gone from behind the drums to playing guitar now, lead guitar.
Yes, correct. Well, and it's kind of a funny story, but I started the band in high school. I was about 16 years old, and I was supposed to be the guitar player. And what happened was we tried out several drummers, and one of the drummers, he ended up leaving his drum set at my parents' house for a really long time. So when it was sitting there, I just decided, hey, I'm going to mess around on these drums. And I did that, and all my friends were like, dude, you should be a drummer. You're really good. So I basically told the guys, hey, we'll do one show. I'll play the drums for one show, and that's it. And then it stuck. It basically lasted a lifetime. So I'm still playing drums on all the albums. But, yeah, now I'm back to guitar live.
Right. And so then Kyle is a touring drummer.
Yes. Kyle's a touring drummer, and he plays with me in 10 years. And then he and I also have another project called Brave the Royals. It's a bit more metal. It's a heavier project, but he's also the drummer in that.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check Brave the Royals out. I did come across it on Google. I didn't actually realise that Ryan had left the band last year, though, and it's his guitar duties that you took over, because Ryan was the first one I interviewed in 10 years.
Yeah, and the story there basically is that, the band actually had to let him go, and that was a very difficult thing to do because he and I started it way back in high school, almost 20 years ago. But in 2013, when I started my hiatus from touring, that last album, it was called From Birth to Burial because we kind of thought that was going to be the end. We thought that might be the very last album for the band. The dynamics amongst members became really unhealthy and it was toxic. And it just, Jesse called me. This was before I came back, and he basically said, I have two options, and it's either the band is going to stop and we're going to call it quits, or we have to change things up and let Tater go, Ryan Johnson, let him go, and if that's the case, will you come back? And I ended up talking to Matt Watland, the other guitar player, and, we said, hey, you know what? This has been such a big part of our lives. I personally have written, or at least been a part of writing every single song that the band has ever had since I was 16 years old. So it felt right. I was at a point in my life where I could come back and really get back into it full swing. So we made the appropriate lineup changes, and Matt and I are back, and we feel like kids again. It's going so well, and we're refreshed, and we feel like it's a new beginning.
That is awesome. And you are, as you said, you thought From Birth to Burial was going to be your last album, but you have a massive new album that you are about to release, How to Live as Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
We didn't know what the future was going to hold, but, as you can see, after From Birth to Burial, that was the death of the old version of the band, and How to Live as Ghosts. We are the ghosts, that now we're rising up and we're taking things back and, regaining control, and that feels great.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, the album has the sound that people know and love from 10 years, but lyrically speaking, it's like there's no ambiguity in there. There's a strong message in this album. Yeah,
we're older now, and we have some life experience now that allows us to kind of talk more about life. And when we first started writing the songs for our first record, The Autumn Effect, we were young. A lot of that was written when we were in high school, and then we just didn't have any life experience, so we used to write artsy lyrics just simply for the sake of being artsy. But now that, Jesse and myself are married and we have, I have 3 kids and he has 2 kids. So I think that just, the letting nature take its course and us getting a little older and a little bit more life experience under our belt has really, it started to creep into our writing process.
Yeah. And do you actually have a favourite track on the album at the moment?
That's a tough one. I would say right now it might be, I really like Burnout. I really like Phantom because those are 2 songs that we've actually been playing live. So I think because they're new and we've been playing them, I'm really enjoying those right now.
That's awesome. And I would actually recommend that when people listen to this album in the car to actually skip over track 11, Insomnia, because it actually is a cure for insomnia, isn't it?
Well, and that song in particular is probably the most throwback sounding song on the album. I think that one, to me, sounds like something that could have been on our older album, The Autumn Effect. It's a very core 10-year sounding song. I feel like the rest of the album is a little bit more evolved, but that one really reminds me of, the early days in the band.
Yeah, and there is a lot of feeling in that, in the music as well as the lyrics. As I said, there's no ambiguity in them. They are reflecting like society and what's going on in society at the moment. I was lucky enough to see you guys when you toured with Dead Letter Circus 18 months, 2 years ago. Any plans to head back to Australia with this album?
Absolutely. We're actually working on that now. We're hoping to see you guys again in 2018. So I think that's in the work.
Awesome. And, well, is there something that you would like to say to your Australian fans? Because, as you said, this is a more matured and, I guess, happier lineup writing this album that has been for a long time. Is there something you want to say to your fans to get them to go and check this album out? And actually, while I'm saying that, you have a Pledge Music campaign they can support.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I would say to any of our fans in Australia is, first off, thanks so much for, taking time to listen to us and dig into what we do. The one thing that I have found about music is that there's no boundaries and there's no territories with music. It's, human nature is only so expansive. So whether you're in Tennessee, like where we are from, or you're in Melbourne or wherever, anywhere in a different country, you have the same heart, you have the same feelings. We all go through a lot of the same things on a daily basis. And music is one of those ties that binds us all together. And so for us, we try to create music that people can feel and that they can get something out of. Because, when we're writing it, if we don't feel it, then we don't even use that idea. So we're just so happy that people feel what we're doing. And I think that with this new album, there's so much heart in it. And I think that by us stripping away a lot of the layers as far as the production goes, I think that Jesse and his lyric and his message is presented in a little bit more of a vulnerable way. And I think it's very human. I think this album is just very human. And another thing I'll elaborate on is that anytime I've been to Australia and we've played over there, the people are just so cool and so welcoming. There's no boundaries and there's no borders, because when I go over there, we might talk a little bit differently, but we all joke around and, have drinks and have fun, and it's always the best time.
Yeah, awesome. And we love having you over here, and you have made Australia a regular destination, and we thank you very much for that. And it's going to be actually really good to see you tour this new album with the settled lineup that you have and the newfound joy that you've got in 10 years again.
Awesome. Yeah, we're so excited. I mean, the shows have been so fun, and probably the best shows that we've ever played have been the ones lately. So, we're definitely excited to get over there and play these new songs for everyone.
Yeah, and the album How to Live as Ghosts is coming out on the 27th of October. And if people go to 10 Years Music on pledgemusic.com, it's basically they can, order like signed merch and signed copies of the album and stuff and basically help you get this album out there at the same time.
Absolutely. So another reason why we decided to use a Pledge Music campaign is because us in the band, when we were young, it was such a big deal to do chores around the house and then to get your weekly allowance and then go to the store or to the mall and buy a CD. We liked getting the physical copy of the album with the artwork and some of the albums, like you would open up the booklet and it would make into a poster, and it was so cool. And now in the world with everything being so digital, the Pledge Music campaign allows us to offer something tangible. Like not only can you get the album and you can get vinyl and it's all signed and everything, but it also allowed us to do special, unique offerings. Like Jesse has handwritten lyric sheets. We have drum heads that he painted. We have, even old pedals that we used on the road and old items like that from tour. So I think for fans that want something more than just a digital download, that's a really cool opportunity.
And there's a lot of things that are actually starting to sell out, so people want to get on that very quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
And I will tell people they can go to 10 Years Music on Facebook and give you a like and keep up with what you guys are up to. You do have a website, don't you?
Just 10 Years Music is all. It's 10yearsmusic.com.
Awesome. For some reason I haven't got that one open. But I will tell people also they can go to Brian Vodine Music on Facebook and give you a like and keep up with what you're up to with all your bands.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Can I ask you what you do in Brave the Royals?
Yeah, I'm the singer and guitar player, so we're just a three-piece.
All right. Yeah, I can see the photo. I'm looking at it. I'm going to check it out because I actually do sort of lean a bit more towards the metal music. So I do love 10 Years, but I love my metal music too.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I'm going to definitely check them out.
Yeah. BTR is definitely heavier.
I will find that out very soon. Thank you so much for your time. And 10 Years, How to Live as Ghosts is out on October 27th. And we really look forward to seeing you guys in Australia again. I guess it'll be in 2018.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.